All right, we are live. So this should be the final session, I'm thinking. Probably be kind of like our normal 2.5 hours, give or take, so end right around 9-ish Eastern time. There we go. So I already sent you guys the recap of everything, so we're not going to bother about all that. As the scene opens up, Marshall, Gunnar, Dave, and Mac, all of you are in the hallway. These two horny dogs, for lack of a better term, but they look like dog-like creatures. They have 3 eyes, one in the center of their head and then 2 on either side. These large, protrusion, almost like a bone spurs or spikes coming out of them at different angles. Their back feet or their back legs are much larger than the front legs, so they kind of have that sloping, almost like a crouching tiger sort of stance to them when they move around. You've seen that they move extremely fast and very strong, powerfully built. They have this long black tentacle-like tongue that'll lash out. Has small little suckers on it. I think it was Mac and somebody else. You guys seen them grab a bug and eat a bug a couple times. There is a bug that is squashed underneath Gunner's boot, I believe it was. And you can see Catherine coming down the hall to the side. Along right behind her is Gibbs. He has a large rifle, a bandolier of bullets across his chest, and he has a couple cartridges in his hand that he's stuffing into his vest pockets. His extra pistol is still on the side of his belt in the holster. And he looks at these dog-like things, looks back at you guys. Catherine has this very timid sort of look to her. From most of your experiences with her, she's been very upfront, very vocal or intimidating sort of appearance. But now she almost just looks like a scared little girl. Her face is this pale sort of color. Her lips are almost blue. She just looks like she's been completely beaten down. She slumps a little bit forward. You can see a few cuts on her shoulder. Her hands are bloodied up a little bit where she was trying to break open the hatch to the underground tunnel. And she'll step forward and she leans up against the wall, blows into like a handkerchief that she has and wipes her face a little bit and just kind of stands there silently. In the gymnasium itself, you can see Jin's body. It's at the far end, laying on the floor, this large puddle of blood spreading out underneath of him. His large katana blade is off to the side. And I think that pretty much is everything that's around you guys. So what would you like to do?
Oh, Dave has recently been gored several times and had his clavicle broken. So he's struggling himself way to his feet. I think we should get to the infirmary, find some bandages before I lose too much blood. And Mac also, who just had the bug cut out of him, right?
Yeah, we'll say he's unconscious on the floor at the moment. He's alive. Gunnar, you were able to get the bug out of him and everything, but he's just on the ground. Which, when Dave mentions the infirmary, and when you went back to get that bug from the med bay, Gunnar, you think now, and when you hear Dave say that, there was something very strange, like something was wrong. It's right at the edge of your perception. You know that something just didn't feel right when you were in there, but you were in and out of there so quick getting the bug that it didn't register until now. But there was something odd.
There was something odd in the infirmary. So if we're going to go, we better be prepared.
There's something odd everywhere here at the moment.
That's a very good point.
Do you have any more of those bugs in there?
1.
Why?
I wanted to study them. I still kind of do, to be quite honest with you. But at the moment, the thing I really want to do is survive.
But it's in a cage or a jar or something, right?
It's contained. So we can head back there. You don't have to worry about it. But there's I got an odd feeling from there. So something's...
Give me a perception check, Gunnar.
I rolled a 1 minus 1 is 0.
Yeah.
Sudden blindness.
It was certainly something odd, but you don't quite remember. You just had that eerie sort of feeling like something was different.
Did you run into Robin or the doc?
On my way back to the infirmary. No, I think it was just in and out.
I know they're on their way out. If we got to go to the infirmary, we got to do it quick. We cannot get stuck here. We have to get to that helicopter.
Dave's already starting to move that way, clutching at the hole in his side.
Gibbs will reach over to you, Dave, and put his arm around you, kind of, helping you along down the hall. So, I was just down at the locker bay, picked up the guns. Somebody broke into the closets, though. This is the only rifle left. This and a bit of ammunition. The other rifle's gone. A couple explosives were gone. Almost all of my ammo for the pistols, as well as the other pistol. All of them are gone.
Why would somebody...
Look like bolt cutters, maybe something, cut through the lock. It was all sheared in half, though.
Apparently someone blew up the radio equipment, too. So someone's going crazy out here.
I have a strange feeling I know who it is.
Catherine, I'll look over to you. Who do you think it is?
Who's been at your throat for the past... I don't even know how long he's been here. I have a strange feeling it's Russell.
He says, he's a crazy bastard. Don't give a shit about anybody around here, but I don't know. If he doesn't have a way off, I don't see him being the one doing this. He has to rely on somebody to get him out of here.
Marshall, he mentioned something to you about escaping on the helicopter, didn't he?
He asked if I could fly it. As far as I know, the only one around who can fly it is Robin. I mean, maybe Hugh.
Catherine will look over at you. Where's Robin go? I saw her last talking to you.
Apparently she went to the helicopter. And he sort of draws his knife and is ready to go when anyone says.
She wouldn't have closed the hatch behind her, though.
I don't think she's working with him. So she was going to go there of her own accord and try and get some help. If Russell managed to take over the helicopter before she got there, or while she was there, it could have all gone pear-shaped, and he can't bring himself to say what he's thinking.
So, if she'd already got out there, she would have had to use the tunnel. Otherwise, she would have went outside. Catherine shakes her head. The hatch is locked. That's where.
So the only exit we know we can get out is the foyer on the other side of the gym.
Yeah, I mean, there's another hatch at the other side of the building. You get out that way too, but either way, it's across the courtyard. Unless we can somehow get that hatch open, no explosives, plasma cutters are gone, keys are gone.
I mean, I guess let's get to the infirmary for now, and we can try to figure something out on the way. How far is it to the helicopter if we go out the southwest foyer?
Southwest, it would be about 300 yards.
It's a lot of ground to cover with those things out there.
Jin said the snowcat was parked just outside that door. Our plan was to rush into that and then drive that to the helicopter.
All right, do we want to get right back to that, or do we want to go to the infirmary?
I'd prefer to keep the last of my blood in me, if you don't mind.
All right.
So,
If we go to the infirmary, I'd like Gibbs to take point. If there is anything
Gibbs will
salty,
throw his rifle over his shoulder and pull out his pistol. His other arm is kind of wrapped around Dave, helping you down the hallway. Well, let's get this boy looked up first. Can patch him up a little bit. Maybe decide from there.
Hey, Dave.
Hmm?
I'm just thinking here. We got a lot of people trying to get to this helicopter. If all else fails, do you think you'd be able I know you were looking at helping to repair the radio. Are you good with stuff like that?
Not really. I could work a soldering iron.
Hey, Catherine, do we know if worse comes to worse, if there's any kind of functional equipment down at that old Russian base?
Down where?
The old Russian base.
I took a trip there back when I first got here, maybe about 3 years ago. It's pretty much run down for the most part. I mean, there's old equipment there. We probably need a generator to get it up and running, or a way to fix theirs. But I mean, when the people left there back in the 40s, it's just the way it was left.
Let's just keep that in mind. We need to take the snowcat. Mac can drive the snowcat, and I'm fairly certain he can fix the generators down there. I don't want to be stuck here if we run out of options.
You hear this heavy slam echoes down through the gymnasium and out into the hallway. As all of you look down that hallway and back at the gymnasium, you can see the far end down in the foyer as the double doors swing open and two more of these large dog-like creatures come in. They sniff at the air a little bit and walk over where Jin is on the floor, lapping up a little bit of the blood, and sniff the air again. You can see their eyes scanning the room. The lighting here is you guys are running off the generator, so it's just that red emergency lighting in the hallway and stuff. It flickers a few times, and then everything just goes completely black. You can hear the sniffling, scuffling of these things. And if you look back towards them, you can see these 3 bright pinpoints of green light on each of them where their eyes are.
I'm going to hold my knife close to me and stick as close to the wall as I can.
Just keep it moving.
You see this little flash, and right where Gibbs is, you can see a little light come on his hat, one of those little spotlights, shining down the hallway. He reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a little bit of a larger flashlight, handing it back. Marshall, I'll say you're behind him, hand you back one of those large steel, heavy flashlights. He continues down the hall. Got to be quiet. Those things can hear us, probably smell us. Get into the infirmary, shut the door, and go from there. You feel all of you sliding down along the side of this hallway, trying to keep your footing. A couple of things in the hallway bump here and there. Give me agility from all of you.
Oh, God. 6.
Same.
Oops, you muted Jesse.
11.
Nice.
Yikes.
Excuse me. So yeah, you trip over a few things here and there, but for the most part, you guys are able to slide down the hallway around some of the furniture that's in there and not knock anything over. For the quiet, for the most part. Gibbs helps you along, Dave. You can see him scan into this infirmary, pushes open the door and pulls himself in, letting everybody slide in before he shuts it behind you. His flashlight scans around this room. You can see this little bug in the jar in the corner moving around. And as his light, this flashlight on his head, scans across the tabletop and the surgical table and stuff, it kind of clicks, Gunner. You can see the blood stains and some other stuff of where this dead body that you found back in the Arctic a while ago had the autopsy that was going on where these bugs came from. It was on this table. It's gone now. You can see bits and pieces of the flesh still there. Some of the blood and other things are frozen bits. The body's gone.
He curses silently in Swedish.
Bless you.
Gibbs will help you over to the table. Yeah, he wipes off some of these little frozen chunks of flesh and sets you down on there, Dave. Just sit still. I'll see what we got here. He starts rifling through all of the things, looking for some bandages and stuff. Catherine just slumps down in a chair. Go ahead.
I whisper to Marshall, Oleg's gone.
What do you mean gone?
He was on that table, and now he's not. I didn't move him. I don't know why anyone would move him. He's gone.
we got to get out of here. We just got to go. I'm gonna kind of take a glance down the hallway now with the flashlight with the night vision setting on my little camera and see if there's anything heading down the main hall or anything like that while Dave gets patched up a little.
Yeah, Gibbs pulls out, looks like just a little simple sort of emergency kit. He's like, I ain't much of a doctor, Dave, so here. And he takes a couple popsicle sticks, shoves them in your mouth. He says, you might want to bite on these.
Oh.
Grabs out some Band-Aids, some tweezers, some looks like, stitching twine and stuff. And gets ready to start work. Over to the side, you open up this door, Marshall, put on this GoPro and look down the hall. Maybe 10, 15 meters down the hall. You can see these creatures. Their backs are kind of turned at an angle towards you, so they're not looking at you. They're looking into another door, what used to be Catherine's office. And they're both kind of sniffing at the air at that. And then they turn around, starting to come back towards you.
We need to move this along. They're working their way down the hall.
I'm ready to die.
Gunnar grabs the bug in the jar.
Leave that thing here. You've been nothing but trouble.
This was the last one. I'm just saying. A tar bomb. Or at the very least, a distraction.
Gibbs looks at you, Dave. It's gonna hurt like hell. I ain't lying. Just bite on your popsicle stick. And then he just shoves the palm of his hand into your shoulder. So he clicks it back into place. You hear this snap sort of sound. He quickly takes a bandage, starts wrapping around your shoulder and down underneath your arm and around it. Let's see what he rolls. I rolled a 2. Minus 1 is a 1. So yeah, you can hear this thing crunch. The bone crunches in a little bit, and he quickly binds it up the best he can.
Do the creatures react to the sound at all?
I don't know, Dave. Why don't you give me I'm going to say a strength roll. See if you make any noise. Difficulty 5.
Yeah, that would be a 0. I'm fucking
So yeah, as soon as you hear Dave behind you scream, you look through that GoPro, and those creatures quickly turn right around, and it's almost a full speed down the hallway towards you. 10 meters, 5 meters before you're able to. I'm assuming you're closing the door, or
you know what? We're in the medical center.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try something here, just to see if they react. I'm gonna shoot the flare gun down past them, like over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm trying to see if they react to light, sound, what.
Go ahead, map here. Yeah, you can lock down without a problem. Send this flare. It does cause them to hesitate. Give you that extra moment. But they see this go flaring past them, and they stop. Watch it go in. They quickly turn their heads back around towards you and then just push down and start, prowling in your direction. Get that door shut, and it's just a heavy slam on the outside. You see a couple of these bone spurs puncture through the wall, this door frame. It goes back, and once again, you can hear on the other side the slavering, disgusting sort of sound. It's one of these holes.
Catherine, is there another way out?
What room are you in? I forget. Let's see. I think it's 15-ish. Science lab is 10. So, you'd be in like room 11-ish. So, not in the room you're in now.
We got a problem there, folks.
One of these holes in the door frame, it's about the size like a tennis ball or so, but you see this long, tentacly like black tongue slip in and kind of wave around, licks up part of the wall, taste in the air before snapping back in.
Oh, God. Are there any windows in this room?
There is one that looks into the main area 12 as like an observation window, but
no go outside?
Nope.
Oh, shit. Dave starts scrambling to try and just wrap a bandage around himself as quickly as he can, around his where he was stabbed. And when
Is there Vent or anything?
halfway decently secure.
A vent or anything you could crawl into?
Yeah, they definitely use heating vents and stuff like that. Yeah.
I point to the vent and say, should we give that a shot?
Is there just the one of them?
There's two of them that I
Just two of
see.
them. And just in case, I'm curious, did anybody grab Mac, or did you just leave him back there unconscious?
I assumed we kind of drug him along with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
I was literally going to go, Mac!
So Catherine just kind of pops Mac down into the chair beside her.
I don't think Mac fit in these vents even if he was conscious.
Yeah, he's out cold for the moment, but he's, kind of leaned up back in the chair that you guys set him down in. You can see his eyes flutter a little bit and opens up. He looks around, very dazed look to his glossy sort of eyes. Gets ready to say something. Once you get on the outside, on the other side of this wall, you can hear the slam as one of these creatures slams into the wall. He kind of moves forward a little bit and then falls back. See a little bit of blood dribbling out of the corner of his mouth, and then it just seeps on his chest. You can see this, what's the tip of one of these bone spurs pull back out of his chest and back in the wall. He gurgles a little bit. You can see he must maybe sound like a punctured a lung or something. So he rasps for a bit of breath. Then he jerks forward again. You can see this long black tongue sift through the wall, through his chest, and wiggles around a little bit before pulling back out.
Shit.
Okay.
Catherine just gets up and screams. And screams.
Wow. If that was my only argument against the vents before, I am popping the grate off that vent.
It's just quick little thumb screw, so you're able to pop that down. It doesn't look like it's going to hold a lot of weight, maybe 250, 300 pounds. So it's going to have to be one at a time and not stay close together. Otherwise, it's just your basic aluminum venting.
All right, we got to go one at a time. At the very least, we got to get to the next room.
Everybody give me a perception roll.
Oh,
7.
12.
Oh, 4.
You're too busy working with your clavicle. Marshall, as you're up there and you pull this vent up, you're kind of standing up on the table to reach it. From the corner of your eye, you can hear Catherine just screaming and stuff. But you catch out of the corner of her eye, she looks around, this bit of this panic, and then she runs for this door, grabbing hold of the door handle to rip it open.
The door handle back out of the hallway?
Yes.
What?
No. Don't open that. Don't.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out. She grabs hold of that. And
I'm probably
starts
standing
to-
quite near the door because I was ready to stab. So can I try and keep it shut?
Yeah, just give me a strength check versus hers. I
Okay,
got a
that's
5.
12.
Okay, then yeah. She just grabs hold of the store handle. She's almost like she just totally lost it. She just keeps yanking at the store. Obviously, you can hold it without too much of a problem. She just keeps yanking at it.
I got an idea. Hold off as long as you can, and I'm going to try to get through to the next room through the vents.
Which room are you headed to?
I can't respond. I'm too focused keeping the door shut.
So where were we in medical or science lab?
The science lab, technically, which would be 11-ish, I believe it is.
18.
I thought 11. Or did I look at the wrong map? Science lab A is 9.
Oh, science lab A. Where we're at? Oh, okay. I thought we were all the way on the other side. So I'd like to get over towards like the office area.
Okay.
I want to get somewhere where I have access out to the hallway again.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the vents, kind of spider off in every direction, so pretty much wherever you'd want to go. It'd just be a matter of kind of judging it, but that's fine.
I'll get over to the admin office area. I want to get out to the main hall a little bit.
Okay.
And I want to hit the playback on the GoPro and throw it as far as I can down the other way down the hallway.
You could probably do that up from the ceiling too without a problem if you want. That way you don't actually have to drop down.
Yeah, either way.
All right.
I'm hoping the sound and the movement and the light coming off the screen's gonna.
Alrighty. And let's see. Gunnar, you're holding the door. Dave, you're setting yourself up. So, yeah, Gibbs will kind of put his hands underneath your boot to lift you up, Marshall, and kind of shove you up in there. Scoot down this vents, take a couple turns real quick. You can pop the hatch off, and you look down. Creatures are maybe 10, 15 feet away, kind of at an angle. You can see where they're on the other side of the doorway, just pacing back and forth. This one every now and then sticking this long tongue through the hole in the wall where it can presumably is still licking Mac's innards. Just give me a roll. Don't add anything, just a regular 1d10 roll.
9.
All right. So you set your GoPro up as you want and hurl that down. Both of them catch this glint of, the screen, and the sound of this skips down the hallway. And yeah, they'll quickly turn and, run down the hallway towards this thing. It goes a good chunk down the hallway, pretty small piece. So yeah, it gives you a few moments anyway. They're maybe 30, 40 feet down the hallway.
And I'll just yell back through, get out of the corner. Yeah, get somewhere else.
So you guys hear him, yell, echo down through this tunnels, telling you guys to get out.
What's the situation with the people at the door?
I'm still holding it shut, but I'm gonna yell, Catherine, vent now.
Vent, and she'll look up. I'm not going up the vent.
I hold my knife up to my head and say, go up the vent now, please. That's the safest place for you.
Soft click from the corner of your eye. You can see Gibbs has his pistol pointed at you. Gunner says, "Can't do that, sir." She's still the commanding officer.
She doesn't know what's best for her right now, Gibbs.
And that's no reason to pull the blade. Put the weapon away and we can handle this.
I put my blade down.
Holster his pistol. At the far end, you can see these creatures kind of kicking around this little GoPro. Marshall, one of them's tongue wraps out around this thing and pulls it into his mouth. You can hear it crunching, breaking apart, and this between the teeth. Bits and pieces fall to the floor, and they slowly start to turn around to come back down the hallway again. You can hear the others arguing in the room.
I wouldn't have been waiting for any of this. Once they got past, I was going to jump down and start heading through the gym.
Okay. So, yeah, you can hear a few words in the distance as you take off down the hallway. You can make it to the gym without a problem. So, yeah, when you get to the gym...
I take my hand off the door.
Catherine quickly just grabs his handle and rips it open and runs out into the hallway. She'll stop for a second, looking in both directions. See these dark creatures at the far end. Turn the other way and probably see Marshall just going around the corner. And she'll just take off, Marshall, and just start yelling your name as she's running down the hallway.
Oh, shit.
Quiet. Let's get out. Get to the snowcat.
Dave, Gunner, what do you guys
I'm going to wait till Gibbs goes out.
Right. As soon as Catherine goes out, he would, run out, kind of trying to grab you guys to follow him as you go. He'll give you a hand if you need it, Dave.
Yeah. All right. I'll head out with him.
So, yeah, he'll grab Dave and go through the door, look back at you to see if you're coming, and then, move down the hallway to follow Catherine.
Yep, I'm coming. I'm not stupid.
All right.
I've still got my blade and my bug.
Hit your bug. You can hear the growl of these things. Their heavy claws scraping across the floor as they turn around and start running down this hallway. You guys can make it without too much of a problem, though. I mean, you have a pretty good head start. So, yeah, you could all make it to the gymnasium opening there. You can see that the foyer down at the far end is the double doors are still hanging open. This cold blast of air and snow blowing through. Yeah, you can definitely get to the gym without a problem before these things can get to you. But they're coming.
The entry to the gym that we just came through has been smashed apart by the dog, right?
Yeah.
All right.
The foyer doors, the double doors down in where room 1 would be all the way down. That's double doors. They're normal. They just blew open is all.
I'm just running across the gym for the foyer.
Get about halfway through the gym or so, you can hear these creatures come skirting around the corner over top of these bits and pieces of this broken doorway, quickly catching up. Everybody give me either strength or dexterity. Either one's fine with me.
7.
3.
Bitch.
Ooh. About time you got a bad roll.
The good rolls are done.
Yeah, Gibbs pretty much just picks you up, Dave, kind of football shoulders you over one hand. His other hand's out on this pistol, just blasting fire shots behind him. Shoves past you, Marshall, past Gunner, and down into the foyer, just set you down. As he runs past, it's that kind of that weird moment you see Dave and Gibbs kind of running beside you and then up ahead of you, and the two of you quickly get your feet tangled up. You both hit the ground hard. Right behind you, these dogs are coming up. Gibbs just firing shots at him, but they're kind of going wide as he's carrying Dave in one arm anyway. So, we're going to have to enter initiative here, so give me a 1d10 roll.
Oh, 10. Lovely.
Big fat one. Yeah, I was going to say I'm rolling all well because I haven't been drunk or on Valium for a couple of days, but apparently they must have crushed up in my pocket and they're seeping into my skin now.
And I'm rolling maxes all of a sudden. They don't have.
Jeez. And what did Dave get?
8.
8. All right. So, Gunner, you were up first. You're on the ground prone, but, I mean, otherwise, you can see these creatures coming at you quick.
I'm going to lob the bug at them.
You're going to
Just
throw
see
the
what
bug?
happens.
Just throwing the bug?
Just throw in the jar with the bug in it.
All right. Kind of spins over the heel, smashes across the floor. You do see one of them.
I cover my mouth.
You just see one of them stop, this long black tongue coming out to scoop it up and eat it. The little bug scurries about, and you can see this little antenna probe thing on its head move a little bit. This black liquid get ready to spray. But first, beast number 1 is up, which is not interested in the bug as it's running towards you. And yeah, it just leaps through the air. All claws of this thing come crashing down beside you, Gunner. And its head whips around these huge, spiky thorn things just crazing across your chest. And I got a 12. I'm assuming that's a hit. So take 1 wound.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, you can feel one of these heavy bone spurs take it through your chest, another one kind of on your shoulder. Its paws clamp down onto your chest, putting the weight of its front end on you. And you can see the slavering jaw just in front of your face, getting ready to bite down onto your skull. But Dave, you are up.
I'm still being carried.
Yeah, you're over. He's kind of getting ready to take you down since you're in the foyer area to kind of set you down where the chairs and stuff are, where people take off their boots.
So I'm at the foyer already?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. Yeah,
Gibbs is fast.
I'm going to pull out my pistol and try and take a shot at the one that's on attack gunner, if I've got a line of sight here.
Yep, you can see. Yep.
That's a dex check?
Yep, dexterity, and their defense is a 7.
I rolled a 7, but I have -1 dexterity, so that's a 6.
So it just grazes across the top of this thing. You see one of these little bone spurs that are sticking out, shatter into pieces. Its head looks in your direction. You stunned it for a moment, kind of drawing its attention away from chomping down on Gunner's face, but let's see. Gibbs is up. He's going to do the same thing. He'll try to blow the one off of you, Gunner. And he completely misses as well. You can see he pulls back on this pistol, lines it up, and it's just a soft click as he's out of ammo. He drops his gun really quick and kind of pulls his rifle around to get ready to shoot again. Beast number 2 is going to quickly snap out and eat the bug. Does the bug go before it, though? So, no. So you can see the bug, this black tentacle-like tongue wrap around the bug and start to bring it in. And it's just this goopy spray of blackness. It kind of covers over one of these walls before it's in this mouth and being chomped down. You can hear a soft little squeal of pain from it echo out between the crunches. And Marshall.
Yeah, I'm gonna start scrambling as close to the door as I can get, and if possible, I'm gonna try to fire off that flare gun again.
And you got the one that's on Gunner or the one that's eating the bug. Both are about equal distance from you.
I'd probably try to get the one off the gunner while I can.
Go for it.
5, 6.
So yeah, it's just this exploding blast of flare. It hits the floor right beside you, Gunner, and just explodes off. You can feel the burning heat of this little flame candle thing there, the flare. As it's burning on the floor, this thick smoke climbing up the air, and it goes skipping across the floor. Feel a little bit of a burn on your cheek, but
I would love to make a quip, but I'm currently about to die, so I'm not going to do that.
And that'd be the end of the round. So Gunner, you are up. Are you moving away from that too, Marshall? Back to the foyer. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I was moving back as far as I could into the foyer before I fired.
Right. Yeah. So as you kind of get there, Gibbs will reach out and grab a hold of you and yank you in the rest of the way. And he's like, "Come on, Gunner, get off that. Quit horsing around. We need to get out of here." You know, lock his rifle once more and get ready to line up a shot. But you are up first, Gunner.
I'm going to try and cut off its tongue.
Go for it.
Please. Oh, that's an 8. Thank God.
That's a hit. Yep. So you see this block tongue kind of reach out and starts to snake around your face a little bit. It's tasting your sweat. And yeah, it's just you see it black off. It lets out the screech and kind of backs up, so it's not on top of you for the moment. If you want to try and you can say if you want to try and scramble away, you can.
Give it a go.
All right, give me let's do a composing check or dex. I got a 7.
9 minus 2 is 7.
It's a tie, so I'll let you win ties. So yeah, you quickly scrabble away, kind of crab walking across the floor. This thing's right in front of you, starting to chase you down. It would be up, so it'll have one last attack, but you can feel this heavy, gruff hand grab a hold of your back and start to pull you through the door. And I rolled a 1, so it'll be a miss. So this thing lets out a screech, and then the doors just slam as Gibbs slams them closed. He quickly pulls over a chair and pushes it up underneath the handles and kind of holds them there. It's like, somebody needs to get out to the cat. I can hold these doors. Gunner, give me a hand holding these.
I want to pick up Gibbs.
Behind holding those.
I'm going to pick up Gibbs's pistol. You have any more ammo for this?
He'll glare at you for a moment and then reach back and excuse me. Now he holds the door up, but he's like, back pocket. You can see 2 clips. Both have 6 shells in them. So,
all right. And start heading out to that snowcat.
Right.
Yes. See, I'm going to at least peer. The outside door's open, right?
Yeah, the main doors to the outside. They're blowing open as well because you got the snow blowing in and stuff. You can see the snowcat like 15 feet away. It's just down at the edge of the steps where you guys parked it.
I just want to stick my head out the door and look around for signs of movement.
Excuse me. Give me a perception check.
Eight.
Look around. You don't see anything besides blustering wind. You can only see maybe 15, 20 feet before it's just a whiteout. But in your immediate vicinity, there's nothing. You don't see anything next to the snowcat.
I look up. Is there anything looking down from the roof?
Nope. Icicles. That's about it.
Okay, yeah. Get a hit for the snowcat.
Right. As you step out into this, it's kind of like a little bit of a deck in the front and then the stair step down. Don't see anything around you. Step down the first step, second, third, and then you reach the bottom. This cold just rips through you. It's well below sub-zero. And you didn't grab any coats or anything from way back, but you can feel this cold just biting at you. Your hair glows a little bit. You feel the snot on your nose, your blood immediately almost freezing up. You can hear a growl in the distance, another one echoed by this chirping sort of barking sound off in one direction and then in another. You know that they're coordinating with one another. As you step out towards the snowcat, you see something underneath of it, a dark shadow about the size of a large dog, sort of curled up under the front end of it, underneath the motor area.
Oh, shit.
It doesn't move.
Dave freezes.
Gives you yell back, hurry up, we can't hold this much longer. Gunnar, give me a strength roll.
Oh, fuck's sake. That's a 3.
All right, Gibbs rolled.
I rolled a 1, so +2 is 3.
Gibbs rolled a 1 as well. So both of you can hear this heavy slam against the door on a third, and then one of them just bursts apart. And a larger sized hole from these, bony protrusions. You see this thing's head lift through, which as you're kind of holding it up at this door, it's right underneath right between your legs, Gunnar. So you can see this thing's head kind of snap underneath and looking up at you as you're looking down at it. And it quickly starts shaking its head back and forth. More of these huge protrusions tearing apart the door underneath you. Gibbs does his best to hold it shut as well with you. He's like, we can't do this much longer. Hurry up, Dave.
I'm just going to keep running right for the cat and watching that sheet.
I'm going to follow after him after the commotion, breaking me out of my oh shit moment.
You see Marshall run past you and just kind of snaps you back into it. You get over by the snowcat, Marshall, and you two will then kind of notice this form underneath it. Do you do anything? Are you jumping into this thing, or you'd be probably like 10 feet away from it? You can see the doors hanging open a little bit, but it would be like right underneath the motor area. So like your doors, it's almost right next to each other.
Is it moving at all? Yeah.
Nope.
It looks like one of the dogs.
It's just a large black shadow. I mean, it's about the size of a dog, but
I'm going to keep going. Keep an eye. I'm waiting for movement or to see if I see it better. And if it is a dog or it starts moving and I think I can, I'm just going to jump in the cat.
Right. Get over there, just, right next to it. You're looking at it, and it's the way it's down underneath. It's more of a shadowy thing. You can definitely see something there. Reach up and get a hold of this door, pull it the rest of the way open. And then you quickly see this thing lunge forward towards your knees. What do you do?
I'm going to try to jump up to the cat.
All right. Give me a dex or agility, whatever it is.
6, 7.
Nice. So yeah, you pull yourself up into this, and just underneath you, you see this dark shadow sort of thing kind of reach out. Dave, what do you do?
He's currently blocking the door, isn't he? Because
you would have been a few feet behind him, so as he, Marshall's pulling himself up, and you would have seen this thing underneath to reach out to try and get a hold of him.
Do I have a good line of sight to shoot it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to shoot it and try not to hit Marshall's feet.
All right. Give me a dex roll.
Oh, 10.
Awesome.
Kind of 11.
So yeah, you pull yourself up into there, Marshall, and kind of slam down in the seat. As you look over, you hear that gunshot and this flash from where Dave is. He has his gun held out. And as you look down, you see the body of Olivia just slumped to the ground. Her head exploded across the snow.
Oops.
I had a feeling of that. Get in. Just get in.
Dave is double frozen. He's just like, shit. Just standing there with his gun still pointed.
I'm going to start yelling to Gibbs. And where's Catherine, too?
She would have been right with you guys. She's useless in a fight, but, she's right there with.
She's useless in general at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. I'll start after I yell. I'll start checking for keys or something.
Excuse me. Yeah, Gibbs will wait for Catherine to get out there and make sure that she, reaches over. She'll get to the thing, pull herself up in, kind of pushing past you, Dave. She looks at the body of Olivia on the ground, a little bit horrified, but doesn't say anything. Just kind of shivers and pulls herself up in. Gibbs will look over at you, Gunner, and say, "Go for it. I got these until you get out there."
I started give him a nod and then go.
You can hear, just as you're stepping out into the snow and down these steps, the doors, just being torn apart behind you. If you look back over, you can see Gibbs grabbed this rifle off of his back, and you can just hear these gunshots going off as he's blasting these things, and then his scream. And the doors kind of close behind you as it's one of those kind of swinging type things, kind of swing behind you closed as you pull yourself up into the snowcat. I'm not sure how long you guys want to wait, but you can hear the gunshots and him yelling in there. Give me I'm going to say a perception check to see if you can get the keys, because either Mac took them or he left them. Let's say 5 or difficulty of 6. So
Hope
6
you got better than I did, fellas.
8.
So yeah, you flip around, look through the console, drop down the visor, and they fall down on your lap.
All right, everybody in. Catherine, you know how to drive this thing?
I have no idea how to. I don't know how to drive. I've never. We need to get out of here. We can't. I think she just stares off out this window, like stuttering to herself. I see one. She should just start smacking you in the head, Gunner, trying to show you where she sees one outside. You don't see anything, but she does.
I in my head, I think everything should have chance of survival, but I'm really gonna stab you in the neck.
Dave,
I guess I'll try to get this thing started.
Yeah, throw the key in, and I mean, there's a bunch of different levers and buttons and stuff, but for the most part, it looks like a steering wheel, a gas pedal, and your brake. Between, you don't really need any of the fancy stuff on there. All the tracks and everything are already down in the skis, so turn the engine. It starts right up without a problem. You can feel the heat kick on. Radio kicks on. It has a CD player in there, and you have a Highway to Hell playing on the radio from AC/DC. It's blaring across there.
Gunner, where's Gibbs?
I just sort of look back at him with a "he's gone" expression on my face.
Hey, you can hear a gunshot here and there, and then it's just silence in there. You don't see the things coming out, though, either, so.
Go. They're busy. Go.
All right, let's get moving. Somebody get on that radio and see if we can get somebody.
Throw this thing into gear. I'll assume you can probably drive a standard. And start cruising across. And not a super fast vehicle, but you can definitely, get out to where you're headed with decent time. You start to cruise across this. You can see in the distance, as your headlights click on, these dog-like creatures. One kind of darts across in front of you, another one off to the side, and the light beams. It's hard to tell if it's the same one or just a couple, but you see one every few, all over the place. There's either a lot of them or just very fast.
Catherine, what's the radio frequency on? What's it connected to?
Channel 7, or maybe 8, maybe 9, something like that.
What's it
Try 7.
What would all of the channels lead
to? You kick over to 7, and you hear Robin on the other end. Anybody? Somebody? Anybody out there?
Robin, this is Gunner. What's going on?
Oh, thank God, she says. I didn't think. She says, I'm in the hangar. We got the copter. Everybody's loaded up. Where are you?
Who is everybody?
Allie, the doctor, and Russell's here. Hugh. Frankie got taken by one of the things. The doctor, he's doing really bad. We need to get out of here. Are you guys okay?
I turn the radio off and I say, what are we going to do? I don't turn it off, but I just don't respond to her. I respond to the people in the snowcat. What are we doing?
We got to get out of here. How many does the helicopter hold?
4, 5 counting her driving or piloting.
So not all of us.
Off into the distance to the, I guess it would be the south, you can see this bright, it's almost like the sun is rising, but it's a bluish color on the horizon, just this blue light, just cresting a little bit on the horizon. It's almost like watching the sunrise, but it's obviously not really the sun. It casts this sort of pale bluish.
You're the meteorologist?
Hmm?
You're the meteorologist.
What?
Is this some kind of weather phenomenon or what?
Okay, we're just looking at the sunrise, right?
Yeah, basically. It's definitely not the sun. You know that. And as far as you know, it's not a weather phenomenon of any sort. I mean, you got the Australia Borealis, but it's not that. It's not as big enough to be the sun, but it's just like it looks almost like light pollution just in the distance.
What direction is it coming from? Do I know what's in that direction?
The south.
Is that the direction of any of the bases that we know of?
Not a fan, no.
I don't know. Sorry,
what is that?
You can hear Robin on the radar. Gunner, we gotta go. But where are you?
I gotta turn it on and say, do you see that blue light?
She says, no, we're in the hangar. There's no windows on the main level. I'm in the copter.
Ask her who all's in the copter.
Well, she can hear you. Oh, I guess I can also say, who's in the copter? Because you can only fit 4 in there.
Yep. Dr. John, Allie, Russell, and Hugh, and then her.
Go.
So I searched for Bennett, but I couldn't find him, or Catherine.
Go. We've got Catherine. Bennett's probably gone. You go get help.
Whoa, what are you talking about?
Get back.
We can't stay here.
You got a better idea? You want to fight for a place in that copter?
Considering it.
Okay, Robin, we're coming to you, and apparently we're going to have a fight. Not you and me.
Okay. You didn't need to tell them that.
I mean, she can hear us anyway. Radio's still on.
She says, I'll be right back. It's a 4-hour flight. I'll be back by morning. Just barricade yourself in the hangar. You can get down below in the tunnel. Nothing can get you down there. And I'll be back, I promise. And you can hear the chopper blades in the distance over the radio start to click on and whirl.
I don't think you're going to have enough time for that fight, Marshall.
Just get down into the tunnel. I'll be back, I promise. The doctor, he's not doing well. I got to get him back to the main station. I'll bring back help.
You get out of there. We'll be here when you come back.
You can hear the blades start to turn up. She says, I promise, Gunner, I'll be back. Marshall, Dave, Catherine, I promise. I'll be back.
Gunner just turns the radio off and sticks it somewhere. We're going to have to barricade ourselves in the tunnel, but something tells me we're not going to be getting back on that chopper.
You can see Catherine just kind of lean forward, her head bumping against the window. She just stares out. A couple more of these dogs skirt in front of the vehicle. Marshall, one of the front skis hits one of these things, clips it, and you can hear a thump underneath the tracks, crunching underneath the wheels and the skis. Up ahead, you can see the hangar as it comes into view around the corner. The top of it kind of opens up, almost like a stadium sort of idea. And you can see the copter lifting up off out of there, the double propellers spinning, this huge light of beam off into the distance from the front of it.
I'll be punching the wheel and curse Layden ran.
So everybody gets thrown back into the seat a little bit as you floor it.
I imagine that was the feeling, yeah.
As you race forward. As you come up by the hangars, you can see that there are large doors that are kind of slide open. You remember seeing when Matt got this thing out. It's basically just like a garage door opener button in the Snow Cat that you could hit, and it'll open up these doors. Excuse me.
Are there any of those things right around?
Besides the one you ran over, you don't see any at the moment.
Were we heading towards that blue light or away from it?
It would be away from it. You're headed sort of northwestish.
Right.
What if that's another expedition? Or another chopper?
Well, we've got 4 hours to find out.
If you look behind you, Dave, and tried to guess, I mean, it's pretty flat here for the most part, besides ice and glacial mounds and stuff. I mean, it's on the edge of the horizon, so it's hard to say how far out it would be if it is something like that, but it's definitely on the edge of the horizon. But it is getting a little bit brighter and a little bit higher on the horizon. You can sort of see like this ovalish sort of outline of the light. Watch. Go ahead.
If it is, it's coming this way, but it's too bright. Sure.
Let's meet them halfway.
Sounds good to me.
So you're turning around and heading in that direction?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Spin this thing around.
By aliens, I'm blaming you.
You see one of these things just slam into the side of the snowcat. The thing rocks a little bit, and it lets out this yip sort of sound, a little crack along your window, Gunner. So you look over. All of you seem, safe inside this snowcat. You can watch as the helicopter lifts up in altitude, begins to shrink away into the distance towards the Armand Scott station. Suddenly, there's a small, intense flash of light near the rear of this helicopter. And you can see it's reddish, almost like a tiny little flare gun sort of light at the back of it. And you can see this thick black smoke start to come up. As you watch, the helicopter goes into a spin. Then you see it fall down and just explode across the ground, maybe 200 yards out or so from where you're at. You can hear the gleeful sort of howls of these creatures around you. And then a whole bunch of them, just like 7, 8 of a pack of these things, run off past your snowcat in the direction where this helicopter crashed in the distance.
I imagine the camera's like on the outside of the snowcat as it's driving away, and you see Gunner's face pressed up against the window with a very silent no coming out of his lips.
See a couple of them leap off the little side ramparts of this hangar. A couple of them barrel outside of the garage buildings around you from the shadows, up from underneath the snow. It's just like a pack of wolves as these things charge into the distance. You can see this starting the glows of this fire where this thing crashed, getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger.
What? How?
No choice now.
What are we going to do?
The only thing we can do.
For it.
Do you want me to roll a sanity, Morgan? Because I cared about Robin a lot, and now she's dead, and I'm sad.
That makes sense to me.
It's just a straight D10 for that, yeah? Or is it D10 plus intelligence? I always forget.
Excuse me. The will, wisdom, whatever it was. Roll.
Yeah, I'm going to be rolling as well, as my only means of escape just went down.
That's 5.
Difficulties would be normally 6, so yeah, that'll give you a point of insanity.
I got 6 on the dot.
So it's your choice either way in that case.
I'm up to 4.
I'm also up to 4.
I just went ahead and gave myself a point of insanity when I shot. Yeah.
You can hear this thump, thump, thump. As Catherine beside you, Gunner, just knocks her head against the window over and over. She says, "We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it."
Is it already the smashed? Is it the smashed window she's hitting her head against?
It has a crack in it. It's super thick paint. It's not like it's going to shatter or nothing.
Okay.
And she's not hitting it hard, just thumping her head against it.
Okay.
We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it.
Gunner sort of has that emotion, so he's not going to try and stop her.
Sorry, what's that?
Dave, can you give me a perception?
Probably not. 5.
I rolled a 10 anyway. So as you're looking over, kind of at this blue light in the distance, looking at Marshall trying to figure out what to do, and the flames of this helicopter in the distance, you realize that at that last moment, is this hand closes around yours, and then this gun that you had in your hand is ripped free. You look back at Catherine, who holds this gun, and she's staring at it, looks at all of you, and then just pulls it up to her head and pulls the trigger. Gunner, the whole side of you.
Actually, can I just point out that I had no bullets in it?
Oh, so it's all.
I used my last bullet on Olivia.
Click, 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 click. Nice.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, my plan was to hold on to it until everybody had forgotten I had no bullets.
She's just like, and throws this thing onto the floor.
Is there anything like a seatbelt or anything that I could tie her down with?
Yeah, and plus the whole back end is full of different equipment, so there's rope or seatbelts or whatever you'd want. Tie straps.
I'm gonna get her a couple of
I'm gonna tie her up to keep her from doing something stupid. This is for your own good. I swear.
She hardly even fights back at the moment.
I figured.
What do we? Dave just kind of stares half numbly at this guy, and he's like, "What do we do now?
No, do we can
wait?
Hope for a goddamn miracle."
Got to see what that light is. You got to hope it's somebody sending help when they couldn't get a hold of us.
Yeah.
Like I said, hope for a miracle.
That makes sense. Dave's just kind of staring at the light now, desperately trying to see a helicopter or something in it.
Would Gunnar still have his notebook on him? Maybe a smaller version?
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm going to flick through my notebook and just look at animals. Try and increase my spirits.
So, are you headed towards the light, Marshall?
I am. Is there 4 doors on this thing, or is it like 1 door?
No, it's like a car or like a Hummer sort of thing on wheel or tracks and skis. So there's 4 doors, and then a whole back end.
Whoever's in the back seat with Catherine, you want to take over driving? Let me get back there so I can watch behind us and, react as necessary.
You've got bullets in your gun, right?
I do.
I'll take over. Unless you feel like you want to drive, Dave.
I maybe I could. Yeah, yeah.
You want to rock, paper, scissors it?
No, I mean, it's okay. I'll watch. He just kind of looks back out the window.
In that case, I'll take over driving.
I will kind of react so that way I'm in the back seat and I can keep glancing behind us and see if we're being followed and all.
Every now and then you see one of these things skitter out from the shadows and around, but none of them seem to be following you. Most of them kind of running off in the distance where you can see the dying flames on the horizon where this helicopter crashed. So as you punch the gas and start heading off in this direction, Gunner, Marshall, you kind of stare in the back, watching the flames in the distance, and these creatures every now and then, one will catch your eye as it's running through the shadows. Same with you, Dave. Catherine just sits there, bopping her head against the window where Gunner tied her up for the moment. As you guys head to the south across this glacier and towards this light in the distance. And let's take like a quick 5-minute break right there so I can get another drink, and then we will pick up the second half.
Works for me.
We survived longer than I thought we would, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Gymnasium, I got knocked down. I'm like, oh, I'm so dead.
I wasn't sure if I was the only one making it out to the snowcat or not.
Could have been a solo game for you.
I'm also going to get another drink. I'll be right back.
I'm sure I'm not going to have any voice left tomorrow. Sucks. Because I felt fine, like, just like a cold in my throat, I guess. I feel great otherwise, but keep losing my voice every day by the end of the day.
Awesome.
It's February. I should not have every window in the house open, and I'm sweating from the humidity.
Temperature's dropping fast here. It's actually getting cold.
I'm actually looking forward to chilling down a little bit. It's just we got this rainstorm coming in, so it's still air and humid right now.
You guys, this humidity is like ours. I can't stand the humidity when it hits us in the summertime.
Oh, it's been so bad here. Just about have to swim around.
You're in like what, New Zealand or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like it's hotter every summer. Yeah. Like the only part of the country that's not near the coast, so we don't even get a nice sea breeze.
It's like Florida. I can't stand Florida.
Me either.
Disgusting.
I was there once. I don't ever have to go back.
Yep. Last 2 years ago, we did like a trip across the northern half of the U.S., but through Louisiana and Alabama and Florida, it was disgusting. It was almost every day was like 112, 113 degrees, but the humidity was just ungodly. It was disgusting.
If I retire somewhere warm, I'm heading out to like Arizona.
Arizona is awesome.
It's hot, but it's true what they say about it being a dry heat. Like, if you go in the shade, you're fine.
I love Arizona. That's by far my favorite state I've been to.
Yeah, mine too. Me and the wife used to go every year.
If you get up into the high area too, like Flagstaff and around the canyon, it's usually really nice weather. You have a nice breeze up in there in the mountains and stuff.
We normally go out to Sedona.
Okay, yeah. Alrighty. All right, everybody all set?
Please, I'll ever be.
Let me mark off. Olivia, since she's now dead. And Robin, she's now dead. And Russell. And Frankie.
I like to think that by shooting Olivia, I have saved Catherine.
I mean, she was about to off herself, so I don't know how much saving you really did.
That's true. Yeah, you did. All right. All right. So as all of you pile in here and start heading to the south towards this bluish, it's almost a very soft baby-like blue color in the distance. As the closer you get to it, and the more that it gets larger on the horizon, you'll notice small little pinpoints, almost like little stars, seem to start formalizing in the distance. You see one, almost kind of like a whole group of headlamps or head beams or car lights, basically, start to appear on the horizon. It goes all the way across, stretching out in front of you. Travel for a good hour, maybe two, before you can see that they're starting to rise up higher and higher on the horizon edge. Another hour passes or so. You can feel the cold and this thing start to bite through as it's not quite able to keep up anymore. Glance down at the gas gauge gunner. See it has only about a quarter of a tank left. It's quickly dropping. The little mile indicator shows you have about 50 miles of gas left in this thing. Behind you, Marshall, if you flip around through some of these empty gas cans and stuff, everything's already on its reserves. The back end does have a lot of tools, wrenches, pipes, electrical stuff, odds and ends, basic maintenance supplies and stuff in that. Some extra tire tracks, things like that. You find a small first aid kit, a couple rations, some flare guns, 3 flare guns. Each has 2 flares in it. And then just basic maintenance tools, nothing else in there really. As you start to wind down, you see the gas mileage drop down 30, 40, or 20, down to 10. Up ahead, you can see what looks to be a very large, almost like a small village or, cul-de-sac type area. All these, almost like a small base. You can see different towers, all different heights, small buildings that look like houses. Excuse me. And all this light that's coming off looks to be almost like by street lamps, all spread out over this area. The whole area is cordoned off by a large steel fence all the way around it. And as your gas mileage drops down to about 5 or so, you pull up to these fences. Inside, you don't see anybody around. It's definitely a very large base, probably 15, 20 times the size of the Ross station where you were just from. And all of these huge halogen bulbs at the end of poles rising up into the sky are all lit up with this bluish sort of color. Some of them flicker here and there. Don't see anybody about. These snow beast things are long gone behind you. Haven't seen one in the past couple hours.
I turn into the back of the snowcat and say, "Who feels like knocking?"
Yes. Dave just opens the door and climbs out. Yeah. They must have a radio at least. I think we're going to make it. He says in the last words that doomed him.
Should we walk it in, or should we use one of these flare guns back here?
It's no really roads out here, so it's just a big steel fence all the way around. You don't see a gate in either direction as you look, but it kind of goes around. So,
no, that's.
I'm gonna try and jig the radio to channel 1. Hello? Wait for a response. Nothing. Switch channel 2. Just see what. Just twiddle about with the frequencies and see if I can get anything.
It goes up through channel 10 before resetting back down to 1. You go through them. You don't really get anything until you get to channel 7. And you can hear almost like garbled speech. Sounds like a familiar language, but it's almost like whoever's speaking has a mouthful of marbles. It's kind of slurred, I guess.
Was channel 7 the one that Robin and that were on?
Back at your station, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's got different frequencies.
Yeah,
okay, that's bizarre.
Yep.
I'm gonna just say something like, "We are from Ross Station. We were attacked. We're seeking help of any kind. There's 4 of us. We're about to send up some flares, and if you see them, please respond."
When you let off the button, this garbled speech from the other end keeps just rolling right along. Sounds like 2 people having a conversation, but it doesn't even seem to really acknowledge you, or they didn't hear you, or they just continue on like nothing.
I'm gonna repeat the message in Swedish.
Same exact thing, but if anybody can give me a perception check if you want to try and recognize the language that they're speaking. It sounds like a very hoarse, guttural, sort of angry speech.
I was, but apparently I'm just turned dish because I rolled a 1 minus 1 is nothing.
7.
Did you try, Dave?
Yeah, I got a 4.
All right. 7. Yeah. You're pretty sure that it's a German dialect of some sort.
You know what? I probably recognize it from, when I was hunting that Yeti in the mountains.
In the German mountains.
The German Yetis. They're the worst.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a Yeti and Lederhosen now, and I like it.
I feel like you always think Yeti is what you're hunting.
Yeah. Not very good at geography. Just throw that out there.
Yeah, you're really in Utah. But yeah, it comes across.
Any German, did you?
You're pretty sure it's a German dialect. Like I said, it's very garbled, though. Like whoever's speaking has a
Almost.
mouthful of marbles.
Alien. Wink.
I don't know what they're saying, but I think it's German. Catherine, what is this space? You know?
It shouldn't be here. There's no base here. We're near the coastline. Another 20 miles, and we'll be at the edge of the coast. There's it's not here.
Can I roll to see if I did German in school? And if I have, like, a passing knowledge?
That'll just be a straight D10. I'll say a 7 or higher.
Oh, I got 9! That's a 9! Ooh.
So yeah, you can remember little bits and pieces here. Now you're gonna have me find stuff that you're not supposed to know about yet, but that's all right.
Isn't that the aim of a player, is to make the GM look stuff up?
Pretty much, yeah. So some of the different things you can pick out. You keep hearing the word Odessa over and over and over. It seems like they're referring to it as in a project, not a place, like a mission or a project or something of that sort, not as a place. But that comes up constantly in the speech. As you listen to it for like 5 or 6 minutes, you can see that it's just the same little thing on a loop. It plays for about 2 or 3 minutes before looping again and again and again. Well, 2 minutes and 37 seconds to be exact.
I'm gonna try and repeat my message in as basic German as I possibly can. Whatever I would know, just like Guten Tag, wir kommen from the... Whatever I can manage, just for shit. Well, not for shit, to see if I can get anything through.
Right. Nope, it's same thing. You click onto there and call it across. Once you let off the button, it's just continuing on with this thing. Sounds like 3 different people or things talking.
Catherine, what's Project Odessa?
This is I don't know. The only thing I've ever heard about in Odessa was something that Bennett was working on. I thought it was something for his son, or he always said he was from Odessa. He lived in New York, just a small little town.
Stupid question. Was Bennett of German descent?
He didn't talk with a speech or anything like that. I mean, he sounded as American as could be.
It was more of a question for Catherine. Like, his backstory, did he have any German ancestry or whatever?
Oh,
I don't know why. Just throwing stuff out there.
She shrugs. I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just trying to think of anything that could help us get in there.
Let's just find a gate. There's going to be a gate, right?
I don't want to really... You said the gate was like 20 miles long, right?
It's a big steel fence that goes all the way around. You don't see the gate anywhere around you. I mean, assumably there must be one somewhere. The gate itself is about 10 feet high, and it just kind of wraps around in either direction.
So if we were gonna look around for a gate, we'd have to walk it because we've only got 5 miles of gas left.
Yeah. I mean, you could go for 5 miles, but
in this cold, I'll drive for 5 miles, left or right, guys.
Lift.
All right.
Yep, left for me.
Start skirting alongside this tall steel gate. You can see that it's very well built, whatever it is.
I'm not trying. Sorry.
Yeah, but the fence looks very very well done. It doesn't seem to be covered in that thick ice around everything else. Very shiny, almost like it's brand new, basically been built here. But you travel along the side of it, you'll pass a few very large signs that has a strange sort of symbol. I don't think they actually have a picture of it in here. No. Sort of looks like an army hard hat, but with 4 tentacles down underneath of it, like dangling out of the hat almost. You see one of these signs about every mile marker or so, and then it says underneath it Odessa in large letters. And let's see, Gunnar, you're driving, so why don't you give me a luck roll? 6 or higher, and you come to a gate.
I got 2. Fuck.
As you're cruising along, you can feel the engine start gurgling a little bit and sputtering, and then it just dies out. The light and the heat still on for a few moments because it still has a battery charged, but it won't last for too long. Off into the distance, it's just your head beam or your headlights glare off. You still don't see a gate anywhere around it, though.
How many blankets are in the back seat, if any?
In the very back, there'd be several large parkas, probably a couple coats, enough to bundle up decently.
Do we all want to go for a walk?
Why don't we use the heat while we can, fire off a flare, wait a few minutes if, let's not go out there if we don't have to.
Fair enough. We've got, 6?
Yep,
6
3
shots?
guns and 6 flares, yep.
How many flares do you have left, Marshall?
I'm going to say none.
Okay.
I think a standard travel flare kit has 2 flares. So.
Fair dues. Yeah, let's fire a flare and see what happens.
Who's stepping out to do that?
I will.
Open up these doors. The snow blows and kind of spreads around you. When you step out, it feels very warm, at least for what you would be expecting. It's more. Where's Marshall? He's probably traveled over, so it feels more like 40 degrees, give or take. Much more temperate than what you would be expecting everywhere else. And it's almost like the heat is radiating out of this base in front of you. Every now and then you can feel a warm breeze kind of blowing off of it. You still sending off your flare? Yeah. So, you click that closed and fire it off into the sky. This bright orange light kind of flares up. A little firework at the end of it. You can see it all kind of drift down. Silent for a few moments, and then off into the distance, sort of in what you would expect to be the center of this area. You can hear an air horn go off, echoed by another, and then a third. You can hear some sort of transmission radio speaking same garbled sort of text. Sounds like it's an actual person this time on the other end of it, though, working out orders or something like that. Then this air horn go off once more.
I'm going to repeat my message that I had earlier in English again, and then Swedish, and then the German. This is best I can.
You'll notice that it scrolls through one last time on this recording or whatever it is that's looping, and then it's just dead silence, air silence. It lasts for a few moments, and then you can hear a voice on the other end come across. Who are you?
We are from the Ross station. There's 4 of us. We were attacked. How far away was it from here?
Roughly 4 hours.
I say about 4 hours away.
There is no Ross station on Thule.
On Thule, is that what you said?
Who are you?
My name is Gunnar Espenson. I'm here with... Sorry, I've forgotten all your names. Marshall King, Dignitaire, and Catherine. Me.
Well, Gunnar, I believe you are in the wrong place at the wrong time. I will send my men out. Hold tight.
Thank you. Thank you.
It goes by for maybe 5 or 6 minutes. In the distance, Marshall, as you're looking off the back, you can see a person coming around the side of a building, walking in your direction. Another one walks out to meet them. They talk back and forth a little bit in the distance, and then they see the one point in your direction. And they both, they carry guns, but they kind of sling them over their shoulders, speak something into a radio, and then get their guns off, holding them in front of their chests as they walk down sort of what looks like a path in this main base area in your direction. Getting closer and closer. When they get about 30 feet away or so, and they start to actually come into view so you can see them. You can see they stand maybe about 6 feet tall, fairly well built. You can see these black helmets that they have on, dressed in sort of silver and black military relief forms. They have these large, what look to be almost like gas masks wrapped around their face, and then these 4 long hoses dangling down in front of them. As they come a little bit into view or whatever, you can see that it doesn't so much look like these are gas masks as it does the actual face.
Dave just kind of leans forwards in his chair and squints at them, trying to figure out what kind of face helmet thing they're wearing.
Gunnar immediately thinks of Doctor Who. You said that it was 40 degrees Fahrenheit, right?
Fahrenheit, yes.
That's like 4 degrees Celsius. It's like a hot day in Scotland. That's mental. Sorry, back on track. Waiting for gas masks to come kill us. Or save us.
Waiting for them to come close enough for us to go, oh, it's that kind of helmet. Everything here is normal.
Yep, they come right up to the other side of this fence and stop. See, one of them lifts up a hand, 7 fingers in this gloved hand, and presses it up against the fence. And these 2 large steel beams just kind of separate apart, almost like they're on tracks or something as he walks through. The other one follows behind him, and they come up to the side of the snowcat, staring in at you. They knock on the window with the tips of their, the rifle.
I open the door and put my hands up and get out.
What do the heads look like up close?
As they come up closer, you can see that it looks very leathery. It's blackish colored skin, almost sort of like a blackish gray, charcoaly. Really weathered looking and wrinkly, these large folds. What looks like a gas mask eyes, sort of large pupilless, sort of grayish, milky color. And these 4 long tentacles hanging down where like the mouth would be.
No idea how to react to that.
Gunnar continues to exit with his hands up.
Dave is
Gunnar's taking whatever he can get at this point.
Dave is kind of pulled back from the window, like he's trying to process what he's seeing here, but doesn't otherwise. Makes no attempt to open up the windows or any of that door or anything.
They'll, let you get out, Gunnar. They'll kind of step aside. You see one of them look at you a little bit, and he kind of shakes his head over, and these little tentacles flapping on his chin towards, free to kind of walk into the base.
I continue walking into the base with my hands up.
Next one will look over at you, Dave. Waves you forward.
He opens the door and climbs out, watching his freaky hand with too many fingers on it. Where's Marshall right now? He's still just right here, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm in the back seat. I'm I guess untying Catherine.
Yeah, I was thinking either somebody better tell them that there's one of them that's restrained.
They'll let you move past Dave. Next one.
Dave is like, what is this?
Don't ask questions, Dave. Just keep walking.
He just kind of keeps walking and staring at one of the guys, just about trips over.
The other one opens up the back door and waves you, Marshall, forward.
Yeah, I'll go forward. I'll grab one of the blankets or something, not knowing I don't need it, but just in case.
And the last one will get a hold of Catherine and help her out. You see, she pretty much just follows like right tight behind you, Marshall. Her head down. Excuse me. You can see just this defeated look on her face. She keeps her head down. Her hair strings down beside her. As all of you step into this base, Gunnar, you first. There's this warm sensation that just runs through your body. And the moment you step beyond that fence, everything around you seems to change a little bit. In the distance, you can see what looks to be the sun rising just a little bit, this bright blue sky above you. And as you look down, you can actually see grass beneath your feet, this cobblestone walkway heading up into the distance. These strange, almost alien-like buildings around you. If you look back over your shoulder, outside of this fence, you can see the fence around you, but beyond the fence is just this weird bluish white blur, almost like a oil painting's been smeared with water. You can see Dave as he steps through, followed by Marshall, and then Catherine, and then these two creatures. And all of you get the same sensation as you walk between the outside of this fence onto the inside. These two creatures come through, and as the one steps through, this facade, this thing that it looked like seems to dissolve away, and you're looking back at a man in this large Russian USSR sort of outfit, military outfit. Or I guess it would be USSR. It'd be like World War II Russia. Sorry, Soviets. And he stares back at you almost like you don't comprehend why you're looking at him the way you are. And behind him, you see this other man step through, and he puts his hand up, normal 5 fingers, and grabs a hold of a door and slams it shut of this gate on this fence. When he turns around, you see that he wears a typical German Nazi uniform, holds his rifle beside him, says, "Well, looks like you have a bit of explaining to do. Come with me."
Dave looks helplessly at the other two, like he's trying to figure out if they're as confused and upset as he is, or if he's just hallucinating all this.
Gunnar just kind of going along for the ride. He doesn't look happy about it, but he's doing whatever he can. I also like how your insanity is labeled as tiny little Cthulhu's.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gunner's just going along with it. He's kind of lowered his hands a little bit, but then when he saw the Nazi symbol, he kind of raised them a bit more. So they're not full pelt, but they're like halfway.
You can see they, notice you have that a little bit hesitation, whatever, and the German will look at his gun and be like, "Oh, I'm very sorry." Strap it back around. He says, "There's nothing to fear here. We've quite okay. I'm sure you would like to speak with the superiors, so if you'll just follow me, you can speak with them, and we can have all this hashed out. We don't get many guests here. Vladislav, you'll go get the others." You see this Russian man, Soviet, put his rifle back on his back and head down to a side building through the doors. In front of you, the person turns around and says, "The name is Oleg. You follow me and we shall go speak with the superiors."
Certainly. Yeah.
Is he wearing the same outfit as the other Oleg?
He looks exactly like it, yes. He looks like a much younger version of himself from what you saw. More like maybe mid-20s compared to 40s.
Dave's just like, Oleg?
Yes.
He looks over at Marshall, like it's.
It's okay. It's a common name, Dave. I think it's a common name.
It was my father's name, and my father before him, and my father before him. The 6th generation of Olegs.
Hey, Oleg, what's the name of this base?
Well, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you. That wouldn't be good, would it?
I gotcha. I didn't see it on any of our maps. It was a stroke of pure luck running into it.
That wasn't luck. We knew you were coming anyway. It's been prophesized. But I will get to that in just a moment. Come. You like orange juice, yes?
Gunnar, when he says it was prophesized, Gunner's like, "I'm sorry," but then he's like, "Okay," and he carries on. Nothing phases him at this point.
Although the gypsies were a bit wrong, there should have been one more of you and not this wench, but she would have to do.
Dave just follows because he just. There are too many questions, and
Oleg will, kind of take the lead. He kind of has it so, two of you are on either side, so he's kind of in between all of you. He's walking along. He says, the weather has been quite beautiful today. We should expect no rain, quite a little bit of sun. This evening's excitement will be quite extravagant. We have fireworks and all sorts of good things planned. There should be a military parade. We'll be walking down the main road. And he points over and you see this wide 2-lane sort of highway type thing heading down through the middle of this base that you're walking alongside of. Says all sorts of vehicles and stuff. The superiors will be here this evening to watch the travesties, and we will have a beautiful vantage point from the top of the spire. When he puts his hand up and points, you can see this tall building in the center of this base area, almost pyramidal shaped, but with a flat top, and it's completely made out of glass, and it just glimmers. As you look over, you can see that it must be early morning, at least, because you can see the sun be coming up on the horizon. Nice, beautiful golden sun. Temperature's getting warmer and warmer. He says, I'm sure you have many questions. Yeah, I would too if I was you. I have many questions about the prophecy myself, but it is not of my information to tell. But we set you up as we will come. I'll let you have some breakfast first, and then we shall meet with the others.
Can I ask you one question before that, Oleg?
Sure.
What year is it?
It is 1942.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
You'll stop in front of this small building. It looks kind of like a small ranch-style house, just a real simple house. Opens up the door. Inside, several cots. You can have yourself a bit of a nap. The fridge is stocked full of food. We have some very fine German beer. Help yourself, and I'll be along shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Dave just walks in.
He'll as you guys all walk in, he's like, I'll be back soon. He turns and walks away. You can hear him whistling like a nice, fine Sunday morning.
What the fuck is happening? Like, I mean, this isn't right? This shouldn't be. I'm not the only one that.
This fucking banana box is crazy. But I'm glad to be out the cold. To be quite honest with you.
I could have sworn they had more fingers. And it's so warm here. Why is it so warm?
Aren't you the meteorologist?
Yeah. And I can tell you it shouldn't be so warm. Do they have underground heating or something? Dave just kind of trails off as he realizes that that's like the least of the ridiculous questions that needs answering.
Gunna's gonna say something like, do you remember when I made that joke about aliens and Doctor Who? I think we may have just walked into a time hole.
So
that makes absolutely no sense. I'm very aware, but it's the best explanation I can come up with.
Look, if they have a ride off of this rock, I really don't care who or when they are.
For now, let's get some food in us, get some sleep, and we'll figure out what the fuck's going on later.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Dave's gonna start looking for some food and nibbling at it unconvincingly.
There's some small ice boxes and a small pantry. Nothing super fancy, but it's got like oats and grits and some eggs and odds and ends in there.
You're muted.
I don't think I was saying something.
I think we just have as nice as meals we can get, and then have a rest. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, Dave's rest is basically him just sitting there staring into space.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's Marshall's rest as well.
Gunner's probably gonna try and get some sleep, but he's probably not gonna be able to. Haunted by the what the hell just happened.
So all of you are left, for quite a while. A good 4 to 5 hours pass. Maybe drifting off in between, a bit of a sleeper, trying to rest the best you can. Gunner, you're the first one to suddenly open your eyes. You must have drifted off at some point. When you look around, you can see Marshall beside you, kind of stir a little bit. Dave on the other side groans as he rolls over onto his injured shoulder. In the other bed where Catherine was, there's nobody in it. You can see the blankets are all ruffled up and stuff, but there's nobody in the bed. The other two kind of stir and wake up a little bit, as you start to gather your senses. Outside looks like it's nighttime, just completely dark. Feels like only a few hours passed. But
There's not a clock in this room, is there?
no, but I mean, you probably have a watch or something of the sort. So, I mean, maybe if you look, I imagine you would have looked at it, would have showed like maybe it was actually nighttime from where you came from. So in that case, it would have been like 9 p.m. It's now showing about 3 a.m.
Okay. But we've already established that this place doesn't work on the same time we do.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it all. I mean, as far as you can tell, you're only gone for, maybe 3-4 hours, or about 6 hours roughly, but it looks like it's nighttime outside. It's dark. You can hear people in the distance screaming. Every now and then a gunshot go off. Then
What?
You hear knock
Just
on
a
your
casual
door.
way to...
Oh, boy, is this Oleg?
What?
Are you ready?
Like, what's going on? What's that noise?
It's time for the party.
We...
Oh, you the guest of honor. Come. Says, are you going to open the door, or do I have to, kick it in?
I got it. I got it. I sort of shake my head and open the door. Is it pull door or push door?
Pull open.
Pull door.
You see his big smiling face look at him. He's like, but I wanted to kick the door. I like to kick doors. Come. Are we ready for the party?
Do you know
You got
where
full bellies, yes?
Do you know where Catherine is? I point to the bed that's got nothing in it. Nobody in it.
She's already up there. She's waiting for all of you to get there. She was ready to rock and roll back then. You sleepy boys are tend to drone on and on all day long. You missed all the festivities.
Dave gives a skeptical look to the other two at this idea that Catherine was ready to rock and roll.
Gunner's also skeptical, but he's not going to question Oleg at this point. So he's just going to go.
As soon as you step out the door, Gunner, you can see Oleg, kind of steps aside to let you pass. But he has 4 other guards on either side, so 8 total, then 9 counting himself. All of them have their guns and their rifles in hand, very stoic, stoic faces and staring forward as they kind of watch you with their eyes as they step out. 2 of them walk up beside you, 1 on either side. Dave, so we have to take it all day. I don't like to send my men in to drag you out. If that has to be the case, then we can do that. But it'd be easier if you just come along nicely.
What's going on here, Oleg?
Well, we're going to the party up on the top of the pyramid. It'll be a grand old time, at least for us. I tell you on the way. Come on.
Come on, fellas. We don't want to miss the party. He says with as little enthusiasm as he can manage.
Many confusion thoughts. I understand. It's a little strange here on Tool, but it'll be quite all right. I'll explain it on the way. You like a good story, yeah?
Okay.
It's like in those old movies, where the bad guy tells you their whole plan as they walk to the place, and then the heroes, they get to find out what's going on, they get the moments, and then they get to escape. It's not quite that fancy this time around, but I'll be happy to share my story and explain things a little bit for you, so at least you know why you're going to die.
Yeah, I back up against the wall a little bit with that one.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a quick look around the room, see if there's anything that could be used as a weapon.
There's chairs, frying pan, some steak
Frying pan.
knives,
There's
forks.
what? Oleg and 8 guards, all armed.
Yep.
I'm going to remind you, Dave, that Tangled hasn't been released yet in 1942, so frying pan might not work.
Really? I was thinking of slipping a chair into my pocket to use later.
There's nothing in the pocket, so you're
Skyrim
just happy
logic.
to see me.
All right. How about a drink while we walk?
What would you like?
Something hard.
Reach into his vest and he pulls out a larger bottle of scotch. It looked like something that should not have fit within his vest pocket. And hands it to you. Good stuff.
TARDIS,
Good
what did I
stuff.
tell you? Time hole. Sorry, carry on.
Doesn't seem like we got much of a choice, do we?
No, not really.
We die out there, we die in here.
But I can see your mind spinning, the curiosity eating at the edges of your brain. You'd like to know what's happening in here, yes? So come. I tell you the story.
You could, if you did us go, we won't tell anybody about this. Whatever this is, we don't know what this is. We could just go. Didn't ever happen, right?
What's it go back out there in the cold? You'll
Like I
die
said,
out there. I mean, what's the
die out
difference?
there
But that's a
and die
slow death.
Hey, help us look at the others.
Come on, Dave. For once, you get to be a hero.
Yes, Dave, it's quite a heroic sacrifice. It'll be okay. Walk over. It's okay, Dave. And you put his arm around your shoulders a little bit. As I understand
Tenses
that
up.
you're scared, it's quite all right. It'll be a glorious thing, though. The people will sing the praise of your name for generations to come, Dave. Dave, the great sacrificer. You're like the Zayas, what do they call it? The sacrificial lamb.
He tries to kind of awkwardly wriggle out of the guy's arm.
Between you and me, Dave, I think you are the best sacrificial lamb of all of them. Marshall's a bit of a old. No. I think you're the best. You're the one that's going to pull him through the gate. We're saving you for last.
Oh.
What?
I thought you said it was luck that there was 4 of us.
You kind of nudge you forward. Dave's like, come, we didn't have much running out of time now. Kind of start, kind of shoving you forward a little bit. If my men would like to, to carry you, I can have them carry you if you don't want to walk.
Does Oleg have any weapons on him?
His rifle and a pistol on his belt. Probably a blade of some sort, like a dagger or something on there too.
Okay, what does it look like the other two? Are the other two giving an indication of what they're thinking of doing?
I'm. You know what? I'll be holding the bottle out to you. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm putting pieces together. But I'm sure Oleg will let on the way, right?
I'm trying to decide it.
Listen, Dave. We either walk or we get drugged. I don't know about you, but walking with a bottle of scotch sounds a lot better than bleeding and being drugged along.
You have a very smart friend, Dave. Would you like some scotch too? Perhaps a Twinkie?
he just.
These silly American snacks.
All right. Well, if people moving towards the door, Dave's just gonna follow for now.
And he finally kind of nudges
I'll,
you.
as he's walking forward, I'll walk over to Dave and just, kind of tap on the shoulder. Look, we got to go. And I'll whisper to him, this isn't our moment.
All right.
Can I still feel my Bowie knife on my belt?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't, disarm you. I mean, I imagine you would have had your flare guns, so you probably still have your flare guns sitting on the beds, and you got your Bowie knife and whatever you guys had on you. They didn't take or do anything.
Okay. I just need to know.
As soon as he kind of nudges you out the door, Dave, you see the two other guards walk up beside you. They look over at you for a brief, just a millisecond. You sort of see these strange alien-like figures kind of flash in front of your eyes of them, but then they're human again. You don't know if it's really just your eyes playing tricks or maybe your memories or something, but the one taller one kind of smiles at you, gives you a bit of a nod, this white teeth grin, and starts walking forward. They kind of stay quite close and tight to your shoulders, kind of pushing you along with their own bodies behind Gunner. And, Oleg looks over to you, Marshall. Would you like to go next? All right.
Lead the way there, boss.
So as you step out, the other two walk alongside you, Marshall, and step up. One of the guards left there's still two left. One takes the far point up ahead and starts walking on ahead, leading all of you down through. One takes far point behind. And Oleg walks up beside you, Gunner, and says, so you think you know everything, right? So why don't you help inform your friends on perhaps what you think is going on here? I'll input my senses in between, but do you seem to think you know a little bit? I'm curious.
You said sacrifices, and we saw the signs with the tentacles on the outside. There's probably some sort of summoning you're trying to do, and you need sacrifices for it. And we're the last four that you need: Catherine, myself, Dave, and Marshall.
Very good, very good. Pretty much, yes. You see, it was told many, many years ago, roughly 15, 16 years ago, when I was just a young lad, of what we call the heroes, such as yourself, would give their souls to make the new world, build a better world around us, and with the leadership of our superiors, under the guided iron fist of Hitler, we have come full circle, and it is about that time. But we've had a few help along the way, I suppose you could say. Well, here you are in what we call Odessa, a simple base here in the Arctic. As you are indeed in the Arctic, don't seem so surprised. But it's what you call a parallel universe, maybe? I believe that we call it the Schnackenzig, but you might recognize it as a parallel universe. As we're going to take you up there, cut your insides open, and let them run down the sides of the building, one for each side. That will awaken the great Shabnigaroth. And with him, we shall all rule the world together, one large new world order. And it's for you four. Well, Catherine's already gone, and it should have been some other hairy fella, but he didn't show up, so we had to use what we had. I don't know what happened. And with the four of you, Gunnar, you next, and then Marshall. And save the best for last, Dave. You go, boy.
All the guards wearing the same Nazi uniform. Sorry.
4 Soviets. Well, I guess it would be 4 Soviets and 4 Nazi, and then Oleg is wearing. You'll notice that his looks more like a Soviet uniform, but it has the Nazi symbols and has like the typical drab colors of the Nazi uniform, so it looks like a mix of both. He says, "Very simple, yes. You traveled here through what you call I believe you called it a time hole or a wormhole."
Not quite the right hypothesis, but I had the clever idea.
Yep. Very close, Gunnar. So, shall we get the show on the road, huh? You'll walk up to the side of this tall building. See, it's about 5 stories high, pyramidal shape. Says, gonna, this here is your steps if you would like to just walk on up to the top there. We'll get everything underway. And Marshall, you can go around to the eastern side, and Dave, you can go around to the western side. Just walk up the steps, and the rest will be handled up there. You can see our lovely lady friends up there. You see, there's 4 women up at the top of this. All they wear is almost like a long black gown on the lower half, but they're completely nude on the upper half. And they have these large headdresses that look almost like octopus tentacles kind of flailing behind them.
So you sure? He looks like he's gonna say something, but he just shakes his head and carries on. Are the guards coming with me?
If you start walking up, yeah, they walk up beside you.
I'm gonna wait like halfway up the stairs and see what the others do. I want to make
just-
sure my friends get to where they need to go.
They just, stop behind you. They don't push you or anything or, nudge you in any case. They just start to look down. You can see people coming out of these other different buildings, small houses, starting to conglomerate, kind of center around. As you're up about halfway and you look out, you can see you're definitely in the center of this base area. Looks like a small, not really a village, bigger than a village, but not like a city-sized either. So just a large base. Right in the very center of it, more and more people are coming out of houses, buildings, starting to kind of conglomerate around the base of this pyramid. Marshall, the other 2 kind of lead you over around the side. Do you let them go? Do you follow? Or you do?
I mean, I'm generally going to move along because there's guys prodding me with guns, I assume, but I'm not quite as sure of myself at this stage. So I'm kind of slow walking.
They move. They don't push you or force you along in any way. Oleg gives you a bit of a tip of a hat and smiles at you, waves, then turns to Dave.
You sure there's no chance of talking this through, Oleg?
Well, I mean, if something like that was to happen, then we would lose the war, which is already also supposed to happen. But this is our last chance. I mean, not really. No, I mean, I don't want to, have to go back and live in Russia, and it's just, yeah. They were going to send me to the Arctic into some stupid base, which I didn't want to go to.
You say Dave's the one here. Do you really need all 3 of us?
Well, it certainly helps it along. I mean, we don't want the entity coming through angry, because it's a little hungry still.
Yeah, I guess we wouldn't want that now, would we?
Not really.
Can I hear him from where I'm standing halfway up the stairs? Or is it up by the glass?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Hey, be right back. You go ahead and continue. I can still hear.
Okay.
This is ridiculous. There's just like this whole thing is ridiculous, right?
Well, you're here. I mean, you can feel the warmth, can't you? See the people. You'll be all right, Dave. You got this.
It's some kind of a joke. What's up? He kind of points up at the pyramid. What's going to happen? Is it going to be? This isn't.
Well, if you walk there, you're gonna sit down into a chair. They'll strap you in. It's just a simple little cut across your throat and then down your chest. We'll let your innards spill down across your legs and we'll cascade down the side of the building, staining the windows. It'll be a quick death. I mean, we've got to get as much blood as we can, obviously, but we won't let you gurgle too long.
Dave's scrutinizing him, desperately trying to convince himself this is some kind of elaborate and poor taste prank.
Come along, Dave. Come along. I kind of nudge you forward a little bit. Don't be such scared. Be quite all right.
No.
Trust me.
No, we need to
Dave.
talk to someone. Everybody's dead.
Well, yes, I suppose technically we're all dead, but that's not here nor there. That's what you're trying to fix, Dave.
No, that's
You can see one of the guards on either side kind of grab a hold of your shoulder. The one on your left side digs his hands in a little bit harder than he should around the bandage.
God.
Come along, Dave. They'll start kind of dragging you along. I need a strength check if you want to resist them.
Yeah, I do.
Good luck.
That is a -1.
So the pain is a little overwhelming. He makes sure to kind of rub the bones that are snapped against each other a little bit and squeeze a little bit harder. As he pulls along, kind of loops his elbow in with yours and just drags you over to the side. Starts dragging you up the steps. Off to the side, you can see Dave fighting him, Gunner. Oh, go ahead.
I look to my guards and I say, so if you shoot me here, your sacrifice is fucked, right?
Two of them will look at you for a moment, then look to each other. I do not know.
You want to find out?
One of them just immediately reaches out to try and grab a hold of you.
I'm going to try and duck him and slit my own throat with my Bowie knife.
All right. Give me I guess it'd be opposing dex or strength, whichever one you want to do if you want to pull away or try to slip away. He's going to use strength because it's better, but I only got a 4 total.
I'm going to use strength because it's better, and I got a 8 total.
So yeah, the one grabs a hold of you and maybe with the front of your vest or whatever, but you're quickly able to pull away. He quickly unbalances himself, catches himself on the side of the building. The other one is reaching around for his gun to bring it around. So yeah, you're free to do whatever you would like to do.
I'm going to pull out my Bowie knife, say, fuck your god in Swedish, slit my jugular right across. Because I was going to die anyway, so I might as well take my own way.
There you go.
Dave, as you're getting dragged up over the corner eye, you see the scuffle break out. You two, Marshall, as you're starting to walk up the steps. Yeah, you see Gunnar pull himself away. His body goes limp. You can see the blood just rolling down the stairs as he gurgles.
And I would like to take this up. Go ahead.
Dave's going to scream and have another attempt at ripping himself out of their arms.
And while this distraction's all going on, I'm going to pull Gibbs's gun out and unload it into Oleg.
All right. Let's see. I'll have Dave, you go first. I only rolled a total of 3 this time for them holding on to you. So
I got 6.
So yeah, with this whole commotion, you see the 2 guards that were dragging you along kind of stop and they look across the way. Excuse me. Down below, you see Oleg bring his hands up to his face, almost like in a state of shock for a moment. If you look back up too, you'll notice at the very top of the stairwell, this woman that was going to wait for you at the top looks down at you, and you see Catherine just staring back at you, this wide smile on her face that quickly deteriorates as she looks in horror down at what's going on below you. And yeah, you're able to pull away, Dave. What do you do? See Gunnar slit his own throat over on the far side. Well, actually, you're on the opposite side as Marshall, so you wouldn't see him.
I go for one of the guy's guns. Like, where are the various guns? Like, are they holding their rifles?
They hold in their rifles, but they have pistols on their belts.
Right. Yeah, I'm going for a belt pistol.
All right. Yeah, you're able to just grab one because they're not holding on to them or nothing.
All right. I'm gonna just point it at them and take a couple of steps backwards, like, and yeah, that's as far ahead as you thought.
That's as far as Dave gets. You can see both of them stare back at you. One of them just kind of lets out this wide smile and brings his rifle up. The other one starts to copy as well. Marshall, you're on the other side. You said you're grabbing their gun?
No, I still have Gibbs's gun.
That's what, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't realize I went over to the other side, but when I stepped away for a second, I was still talking to Oleg. Is he within,
Yeah, he's down at the bottom, sort of in the middle where Gunnar was. You can see Gunnar, but you can't see Marshall Dave on the opposite side as well.
Yes, and then I would, as soon as I see what was going on with Gunnar and people started, reacting or looking over that way, I just unloaded into Oleg.
Nice. Give me an attack then. His defense is a 5.
I rolled a 5.
Nice. So he's going to take 1 wound. Actually, that's just going to end up bringing up initiative. So yeah, Dave and Marshall, give me initiative.
6.
2.
I got a 4.
All right. I'll give you 1 action before you gurgle away.
You're third in line, and you get to bleed to death.
And Marshall. And the guards. All right. So Dave, you are up first then.
All right, I'm shooting at the first one to start lifting his gun.
All right.
Come on, that is a 5.
That's right on the money.
How does this work?
He just takes 1 wound. I got it
Alright.
already. So yeah, you
I'm just
quickly
going to be shooting like crazy.
doosh, 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 doosh. One of your 5 bullets that you shoot out hits, you know. Yeah, you just hits him right in the shoulder, and he kind of falls back a little bit.
Somehow you managed to shoot Olivia again.
Your bullet went back in time through the time hole.
Olivia suddenly pops up. Hey guys, I'm out.
Oleg steps back. You can see this huge hole kind of in his thigh, the blood starting to go down his leg. He hobbles to the side, holding himself up on the side of this temple, and pulls out his rifle, putting it up towards you, Marshall. I got a 9.
Yeah.
All right. Take 1 wound. As he fires back, he glances off the side of the glass beside you. You can see it just shatter apart. While not hit by the bullet, shards of glass just bury themselves in the side of your face and into your neck. Gunner, I'll give you 1 action as you gurgle away. What do you do with your dying moment?
As I fall to my knees, I'm going to try and swing my body so I smash through the window and shatter the glass.
Right. Yeah, you can just do that totally. Like I said,
I know, just because I think it'll look cool. My dead body just full of...
yeah, the last sight you see as you're looking up is Catherine up at the top of this temple looking down at you. Almost this really annoyed, angry sort of look in your direction. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and describe your ending scene?
He smashes through the spire, he falls and he sees Catherine, he lands. And the last thing that runs through his head is just about how... I was going to say the check of red penguins, but that seems really dull. He just thinks of all the lives that he may have saved that he doesn't even know that he's saved, and he's quite happy with that. So he smiles as he fades away.
And then just this doosh as you hit the bottom of this area, temple. Head cracking open across the stone cobbles. And Gunner, and oops, you are up, so actually you're gone. Marshall.
Did the smashing of the glass affect the rest of the spire, or was it just like a window that I smashed? Just out of curiosity.
I'll roll to find out in just a second for you. I mean, it's 1 pane, but they're all interconnected, so maybe.
I'm going to be moving towards Oleg and firing on him.
All right. In behind you, you can hear the guards behind you take up their rifles as they click them into gear and click off the safeties, their feet thumping behind you.
Yeah, I'm all right with it.
Go for it.
5, 6.
Yep. Take another one. As you unload another shot, this one hits him in the shoulder. You can see his arm get blown back. He drops his gun as it skitters across the cobblestone. His hand kind of comes up holding his arm. His knees start to buckle underneath him. Behind you, you can hear these gunshots. Got 1 guard behind you, Marshall. Or 2, sorry. 1 misses. The other one's going to hit for 1 more wound.
Right.
And Dave, you got 2 on you. I got a 6 and a 3, so the 6 will end up hitting you. So take 1 wound, Dave. And that's the end of initiative. So Dave, you would be up again.
No, I would be down again.
You'd be down.
My last.
All right. So yeah, you can hear the clicks of their guns. Another shot goes off, and the last thing you notice is one of the guards' heads right beside you just blows apart, and then it's just click, click, click as you're empty out of bullets. The other one sort of lets out this grunt as you see this bright flash from his muzzle. What is the last thing Dave sees? And describe your ending.
Dave just is. Sorry, hit a big bottle. Dave's just like, and then there's just a kind of a pause for a short moment as he stares down the barrel, and then goes in the head, and he just.
So as you come down to the end of the steps, Marshall, and look over to the side, you can feel a gunshot rip through your abdomen from the back forward. Off to the side, you hear gunshots from where Marshall was, and as you come around the corner, you can see him tumbling down the steps, his head just completely obliterated. But one guard on the steps is dead, and the other one looks like he's badly wounded. And that actually puts you up, Marshall. You can see Oleg's maybe like 15, 20 feet in front of you.
Closing the gap with him and firing on him. If I get to him, I want to stick the gun right on him, but I probably won't get to him this time.
You can almost get to him, but not quite, so yeah.
7.
It's a hit.
And I'm paying no attention to the people falling around me, shooting at me,
You can hear their footsteps right behind you. Your gun goes off again, though, hits him square in the chest. He gets thrown back. You can see this angry sort of look. All around him, there's this strange, almost like a black aura or a black shadow that seems to be wrapping around him. And let's see, that would be the 2 guards behind you. I got a 1 and a 3, so 3 and 5.
Defense is 6.
Oh, so nope. Let's see, Dave's dead. Oleg. Yeah, Oleg's down on his hands and knees pretty much. He reaches down, pulling out the small little pistol that he had on his belt. It's just like one of those little miniature sort of pistols. I don't know what they're actually called. The real little ones, like the pocket guns.
Derringer.
Yes, that's it. Brings it up, point it in your direction. You can hear the blast go off as he pulls the trigger. 7.
That hits.
We'll take 1 more wound.
Ooh, I'm still moving.
Just covered in blood. This gun slips from his hand, clattering across the ground as he looks up at you. You're still coming at him, so it would be your turn.
Is he in like full military regalia? Like, more specifically, as I'm because I'm guessing I closed the gap at this stage.
Yep.
Does he happen to have any kind of grenades or anything like that?
Sure, if you want there to be.
Yeah, I'd like to, because now I've been shot as I was running towards him. I'd like to just fall into him and grab and pull.
Yep. So let's see. Give me a dexterity as you kind of smash into him. He cobbles forward. He's trying to shove you off the best he can. Blood's gurgling down his throat, across his chin. What?
7.
7. Let's see what I got. I have a -1. I got a 7. -1 is 6. So go ahead and describe what happens.
I'll kind of get a hold of him, and I want to pull the pin on the grenade and hug him real close and say, "It's all right. You lost anyway." And just
Nice. And with that very last second that you saw up above you, Gunnar, is Catherine staring back. Same with you, Dave. But for you, Marshall, you look back, you can staring back at Oleg. You almost see this sense of release, or this sort of like a moment of peace crossing across his eyes. Just before this explosion goes off, all you can hear him say is "thank you." And then the explosion goes off. You can see shattered glass rocketing across. People just kind of fly through the air. And it's just explosion after explosion after explosion goes off. As the camera starts to pan out, it shows this base exploding, but slowly starts to fade away. You see the ice and the snow webbing crawling its way over top of this base. Years of glacial frost over top one, over another, over another. And the explosions all stop. The snow starts to settle. Darkness comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. As the years pass, a large herd of red Chekhov penguins cross over the ice where the base used to be, just barely seen under the ice. and more darkness comes and goes. You see a snowcat drive across the top of the surface. In the distance, you can see this small base starting to be built into the distance. More glacial freezes over top. People walking, instruments, snowcats, newer ones and newer. See the 80s pass by, the 90s, into the 2000s. And then the screen goes black. And that is the end of what's technically season 1. I do have a season 2, which you guys would have first dibs on, but I'm not running it until like fall. That explores what the hell happened back in 1942.
Oh,
That was absolutely banana bonkers.
That went crazy quick.
oh yeah. That's hey, lasted longer than expected.
Yeah.
As Cthulhu things always end weird.
If it makes you guys feel any better, my original intention was to wait till we got to the top and shoot the two of you anyway. So
I'm glad we all knew that we were all going to die in the end. I'm glad we were all aware of this from the start.
See, there's part 2. I got to read through it yet and see exactly where the whole story leads, but
I have a couple of questions I would like to ask, but I'll wait until you go on live in case other people want to play this.
all right. Yep. So thank you guys. Thanks for everybody who watched. And let me click off live here somehow.